I just get an inspiration for my next model project. There are plenty of YouTube channels with excellent modelers with excellent production skills. This is not one of them. Welcome to Cable's Creations, a video channel on modeling for the rest of us. There are plenty of YouTube channels with excellent modelers with excellent production skills. This is not one of them. Welcome to Cable's Creations, a video channel on modeling for the rest of us. All right, getting back to the Skyraider build. Like I said in the last video, got a whole bunch of work done that just doesn't look all that impressive video-wise, but I think we're about to really start taking off in terms of it really looking like something's coming together. So first step is gonna be putting all those 3D decals into cockpit stuff and hopefully get the cockpit all put together. And once I get that done, I can get the fuselage halves together around it. All right, got those 3D decals in. One side of the cockpit walls. Oh, one slipped a little bit, gonna have to fix that. But more particularly, right around there. Had to repaint that after looking at a reference photo. I also got the red on the edges of the gear bay doors. And also got that photo etch screen inside there. And that part's gonna need a little bit of work to make it fit. And while I was at it, put together another pylon and glue setting. So getting some work done and potentially get the fuselage all buttoned up tomorrow. Well, got a fair bit of work done today. Got that cockpit all fixed up and got it into the fuselage. Got the fuselage halves together. Also, the way Tamiya puts these gear bay doors, that's like one piece that actually goes into the inside. Well, each of those parts there, you have to put them in like that, so that can be kind of an issue for painting in the not too distant future, but oh well. And also started putting together those flaps, got them gluing, and there still need to be a little bit of sanding cleanup. So once got some visual progress. See, I've got a bunch of little styrene strips into there. That's not a Tamiya issue, that's a me issue. You can even see the, well, no, that was more so it getting in the way. But when I was sanding the back to clear things off for that photo etch piece that goes in the back there, I ended up sanding it in such a way that it affected the fit. So ending up with a gap that needs to be filled, and that's on me, not on Tamiya. If I had to do it over again, what I would do is take a drill and do a bunch of drilling out of the kind of screen area, and then with like knife, files, sanding sticks, smooth out, get rid of the rust. Actually, I'm gonna have to remember that because I've got a Spitfire Mark V in the stash with some Edward photo etch. Gonna be a similar situation. So for that one, I'm definitely gonna do the drill out the majority of it way. Well, I got the top and bottom wings joined. And on this, I got that area fairly well settled, but looks like maybe just a little bit more sanding. Some of that might be just an optical illusion from the camera. I'm gonna look at that, but maybe just a little bit more sanding, but I think I've got that in there pretty good. It feels, it actually feels nice and smooth in there. Probably do a little spot priming for much else. And we'll just see. I think I've got my mistakes fairly well corrected. I figured out there were some more areas that needed to be kind of evened out, sanded. So I've got glue drying on those. I did some more sanding, evening out, and then I'm going to wait till I get those areas kind of sanded before I kind of put a little filler in that area, just to see how much filler I'm going to need in there. And interesting, when I did a dry fit in here of the wings to the fuselage, discovered, side to side, no gap. However, there's a vertical gap, which is something a little different. And I may or may not do anything with that. If I do, it'll probably be some of that acrylic putty. Also got some more painting done on the Skyraider here. Got white onto the landing gear, and for these exhausts, get it to focus. Well, it had that metallic color, then I added some pigments, kind of rust pigments, and then put some smoke over the top of it. It looks better in person than it does on camera. Well, I got the wings attached to the fuselage, and so tomorrow plan to get those flaps and the stabilizers put in, and who knows what else. Probably going to attach the cowl temporarily for painting, so I don't have to worry about masking off the engine, and more importantly, not having to mask off those exhausts. Okay, got the flaps on, and then there's some little additional pieces that go into those slots. I'll let the glue set up pretty good for that before I add those. Also started a little work on getting the black onto the tires with the marker. Okay, where we left off, I had basically finished up with all the painting and the 3D decals of the cockpit. So need to put those together, and then get the fuselage together and continue working from there. Okay, got these pieces of photo etch attached to the bottom And on the top, whoa, got one more piece attached up front, and also I scraped off all the glue seams. And I don't know if I'd shown or not. You know, got the horizontal stabilizers added, and the flaps, hinges there, and even got started masking off the gear bays. And one of the things I think I'm going to do, see if it'll work out, is those pieces that cover the very front of the wheel bay. They're going to get another coat of gloss white, and then I'm going to put them down maybe with like some poster putty so that they can do masking as well as get painted at the same time. All right, got panel liner onto the landing gear and the other side of the wheels. I'd previously done the other side. Got on both sides now, and even started putting some of the bombs together. The big news, I've got the primer on the entire bottom. Depending on the light, the white doesn't really show up that well on the bottom of the cowl, but it is there. And so I'm going to try using a variation of the black basing technique, starting to put a whole bunch of other different shades and colors underneath before I do the insignia white. Well, I've been really busy 3D printing the last few days, both designing and actually printing, kind of fine-tuning some things along the way. But one of the things I've got here is a center finder, so that, you know, what you do, get, and do this one-handed, but you would put the bomb right there. Of course, you would do it upside down so that the one of the rounded pieces of the bombs goes into that corner, and that slit right there is for drawing a line. Just put a pencil or a pen through that and do 2 or 3 different lines where they all intersect is going to be your center. So that's for finding a center. Now these 3D prints actually have a little bit of a hole started right in the center by design. And that's so that, you know, could put pins to put the front and the back of the resin ones together, where it's not just a simple butt join with super glue. So those are the resin bombs right there. And you may ask, if I've got them in resin, why did I 3D print? Well, because on some of the pylons like this, they've got these little triangular slots right there that go into the bombs, and so there's a corresponding triangular void in the bombs that came with the kit. So what I did, these 3D prints recreated that little slit so that it goes right into there. I've test fit it, and so it does work. Meanwhile, you've got these that Tamiya designed it for wing fuel tanks. and just with where the attachment pins for the fuel tanks, that didn't work. So that's where this comes in. And so the 3D design, the design matched up with measuring this tubing and this pin. But when the prints came out, you know, the actual prints came out, they didn't match up. So what I did was kind of drilled out the hole big enough to accept the pins, then put the pins in, slid the, because the holes for the pins were too small and the holes for the tubing were too big. And I played around with it. I finally figured out, it's like, you know, it just ain't gonna, you know, I tried upsizing the smaller hole at the bottom, and that wouldn't, and that was not making it big enough. Tried upsizing just a little bit for the tubing, and that made it too big. So drilled out the one part, put the rod through it, and just to kind of hold it in place, and then super glued around the edge. This drill bit will fit through the tubing. It's basically the same size as the rod. It'll drill a hole big enough for the rod to go in. So what that will do with that is on the resin bombs like this, I'll just select a spot, and think about it, when I've got my kind of at the same time select where I want the pins to go and tape it to that and make a mark. And then later I can put this where the kind of to go along the where the mark is on the pylon, and boom, drill 2 holes right there, get them the exact same distance on both objects, and not worry about you know, no worry about them being offline or the wrong distance. And then finally, you know, one of the most frustrating things in model building, at least for aircraft, is trying to keep fins on bombs and missiles straight. Well, that's where these come in. So the idea is using magnets on these. You know, they'll be at 45 degrees from me, or excuse me, 90 degrees. And so get a set of 4 of these guys all together, and there's a little recess in there. Well, have the magnets, they'll hold them all 90 degrees from each other. So that's been a big part of my work for this week. And if I feel like I've really got something accomplished, even if that's all I get done with it. Ooh. So this day ended up being quite busy with nothing really spectacular to show on the models, but I got all of these you know, jigs made up for doing fins. I also now have the holes drilled in those. I've got pins in the backs of all of the front parts of the bombs, and holes drilled in the backs of all of those. So these will go in with the other pieces that are going to get painted same color as the underside as I do that. And these will be finished being put together. Probably going to be some putty at the joint, but you know, they're going to get them arranged so that they're at least straight, and then get the putty work done. So that's it for the day, and get on to some other work tomorrow. Also say these guys didn't work out quite as planned because we're on the measurements. So if you fit it over that part, oh, it works just perfect. However, you go over here and it just wouldn't fit over the parts with the sway braces. So I figured out what I should have done was, but it kind of wouldn't really work that well with the bombs, is that this part would need to come out wider. And so to a degree, it worked just great getting the holes on the bombs, like in a straight line and everything, but I kind of had to do some guesswork on getting those holes on this underside. All right, got various modeling colors on the underside. Some areas there's a little much, so gonna do a little bit of sanding to knock it back a little bit. I used these templates when doing it, so now I've got like a big blob right there. So it's like do a little sanding here and there. Very fine grit, also kind of smooth it out before putting down a coat of insignia white. All right, got a few layers of the like really thinned insignia white on it, and you know, mottling kind of coming through. I think it's gonna need some more coats, but just time-wise, gonna shut the video segment down here for now. So, okay, that's it. Well, as frequently happens, didn't get as far along as I thought I might, but did make some pretty good progress, especially with all of the 3D printing that was involved. And started getting some painting done. So so when we come back, I'll be working some more with getting the paint on the underside and hopefully get that finished and can start moving to the top side. And with that, we'll be finishing off some of the insignia white, and then getting one area into green, and finally gray. So till next time, showing your mind to hopefully make you feel better about yours.